Good afternoon, guys. Good afternoon. Good afternoon once again. Welcome to South Africa Lately, a channel that discusses South African trending news. We do, however, grab here and there from international news when it is trending enough to be brought here. Please do understand that I am not a politician. I do not have deep knowledge in politics. However, I am a South African citizen who's also a voter, and I do believe that my views count when it comes to political affairs of our beautiful country, guys. You know, hey, I'm sharing with you my highlights of that portfolio committee as Solly Malatsi, the Minister of Communications and Digital, what appeared before the committee today. There are certain things that stood out for me, like the one that I've shared with you of Ndlela revealing that Starlink is operating in South Africa without a license, and the minister said, I had no idea. So Honorable Vilakazi said something. He said this BEE has seen more than R1 trillion being pushed to benefit not more than 100 people. Aibo, guys, that is serious amount of money. So that's why it makes the people who are saying, let's scratch the BEE, have an ear from certain people. You know, there is nothing wrong with BEE. For me, I'm talking now as a person of color in South Africa. There's nothing wrong with BEE. But everything with how it is being implemented is wrong. I feel like it is implemented away what governs that BEE. It's like they're coming with new things like, no, if you are not benefiting as politicians from the BEE, that is from the laws of BEE that are supposed to be applied into any business that will benefit somebody, they don't know, they are not participating in that. They don't want to hear that. That is why most of the time people have been complaining that you go to these offices with a proposal that this is something that could be good for the community and whatnot, good for South Africa, can benefit our country like this, and they look at who knows you, because at the end of the day, when they give you all the support that you need in order for that thing to work, they need to know who knows you, who do you know, so that at the end of the day, they must benefit either politically or individually. So this whole thing is a mess. I'm not going to keep you for long. Please do listen to what Honorable Vilakazi said, and you will see me right at the end with my closing commentary. We are a corrupt country, guys. It is so horrible. No, really bad things are happening in South Africa. Trump was right.
Honorable Vilakazi, I will give you, I don't want to shut down anybody, but please help us. You know, I have to make an intervention before you and Honorable Mkhaha speak, so please help us.
I know that, Chair, and thank you for the indulgence. I did have my hand up, and you missed me in the one round. I'm largely covered by my colleague, Chair, and I wasn't sure whether I was shocked or amused or just bemused by the conduct of my fellow colleagues here today. Just the fervor with which the attacks were piled upon the minister. I thought I was going to see froth coming out of the mouths or smoke coming out of the ears. And it was interesting to me, firstly, to note what my colleague pointed out to Honorable Bodlani, what the colleagues in the committee are saying and what the president is saying at the exact same time, that are in juxtaposition with one another. In fact, I thought it's maybe a great example, Chair, of the separation of party and state. Which the party saying one thing, on the other side, the state is saying something different, although it could also just indicate dysfunction in this case. The other point that I wanted to make, Chair, is there's an elephant in the room here. In spite of all these comments that are being made, there's an elephant in the room that is being conveniently ignored or forgotten about. Professor William Gumede from WITS was on Newsroom Africa, I think it was yesterday, if not the day before, talking about the impact, and he's not the only one, by the way, he's just one of many, talking about the so-called, the alleged impact of broad-based black economic empowerment. According to him, more than R1 trillion has been poured into BEE initiatives, ownership, these equity initiatives that are being so hotly protected here. Over R1 trillion has been poured into those to benefit no more than 100 individuals. His words, not mine. It is well known that these things that are being so passionately protected benefit only a select few, and according to him, linked to a political party that we shall not mention, although we know who, or trade unions linked to that political party. So for me, when I see the fervor with which this is being protected, it makes me wonder whether it's really about the people of South Africa or about protecting certain interests and those people who have the wherewithal and the lines within to benefit at the expense of the entire country. On the other hand, Chair, we have examples of EEIPs in the country, and I'll talk about the ones in the sector only, not broadly, that have actually achieved amazing success. If you look at the IBM EEIP, instituted, I think, since 2015, which has IBM poured more than 700 million rand into that. It has to date impacted many people who have gone on to take postgraduate study in the ICTs as well as enterprise development. Lots more people than BEE. Microsoft, in their own EEIP, have poured money into skills development as well as enterprise development. And in my understanding, and I'll put the question to the minister, I guess, because in my understanding, the minister is not saying, let us do away with 30% ownership. He is saying, let us introduce this other way, which will also not only enable other role players to take part within the sector in the country, but will also result in this transformation that we all so desire. In my view, Chair, and empowering over 150,000 people, as has happened with some of these training initiatives, qualifies for transformation far more than benefiting a couple of hundred people through these multi-billion rand ownership schemes. Ngiyabonga, Chair.
Yo, guys, whatever your views are, kindly share them in the comment section. I'm just here shocked. If there are those trillions that are lost for over 100, less than for just like 100 people, imagine how much money we lose the other side in other things, different monies that we lose here and there to corruption and favoritism and all of that. So we need to clean our house, Shem. We need to purify ourselves. Maybe we need baptism through the fire, who knows, but we need to get something done, please, because this is messed up. So, but Honorable Vilakazi cracked me up when he said smoke through the ears. Yo, Zara, and if you are not hearing what he's saying, you wouldn't find that funny if for some reason you didn't hear, because the facial expression is not saying what he was saying. And I like the way the chair firstly said, Honorable Vilakazi, please, I think they know him, that he can take longer when he has to say something. But yeah, man, he shocked me. Honorable Vilakazi really shocked me. And yeah, guys, if you watched up to here, kindly share your comments in the comment section. I really appreciate that you stayed up to this point. And the next time you bump into my videos, kindly watch my ads in full. That support really goes a long way. That's if you're on Wi-Fi and you have the time to do so. Do have yourself a beautiful afternoon.